On today's episode of Left Off the Map, we're going to learn a little bit about permaculture with Henry Terry. And back in the kitchen, I'm going to show you a healthy way to make a burger at home. But to start the episode, I'm joined by a special guest, all the way from Sudan to make Agashe. On Left Off the Map today, we're joined by a very special guest, Sarah. And Sarah's from Sudan.
Yes.
Sudan's not I don't have a lot of knowledge about Sudanese food culture. So I'm really excited to learn a little bit about Sudanese food culture. So what are we making?
Oh, we're making something called Agashe.
Agashe.
Yeah, Agashe is like one of the type of the barbecue dishes.
Is barbecuing something that's done a lot in Sudan?
Yeah, we do barbecue a lot in Sudan.
Yep. Yeah. Okay, do you need me to do anything first? Do you need me to chop anything up? There's probably the only thing that needs to be cut is the onion.
Yeah.
Do you want me to cut that?
Yeah, you can cut slice of the onion.
And that gets cut into onion rings?
Yeah, onion rings. So first I will prepare the spice for the chicken itself.
Yep.
So the spice, it just consists of, as I told, onion, garlic, paprika, chili.
Traditionally, is Sudanese food hot? Is it spicy?
Yeah, it's spicy. A whole purpose. And ginger. And some salt. And vinegar. And some olive oil.
So ideally, you'd let this sit in the fridge.
Yeah, for one night.
Yeah.
And then I will put just the chicken here. And I will mix it whole.
And they're cut into strips.
Yeah.
The chicken.
Yeah.
And I think you said before the chicken, if you cut it, would you normally mallet it out a little bit?
Yeah.
So is that to get
To get the 0.5 centimeter length.
0.5 centimetres.
Length,
Is that for tenderness or just for even cooking time?
Yeah, for cooking time and tenderness as well, it always helps. And sometimes we are not perfect in cutting.
Okay, so second pair of gloves. And what are we going to do now?
So now I'll prepare the breadcrumb and peanuts, and this is like what I will put the topping.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it almost gets crumbs, sort of.
Yeah.
It gets a crunchy topping on the outside.
Yeah, crunchy topping, yeah.
Oh, cool.
So I will start with the breadcrumb. It is like 1 cup.
Yep.
And I'll 2 big spoons
Peanut butter.
of peanut butter.
Which is going to help it stick and also give it a great flavour.
Yeah, exactly. It is not good for allergic people.
Yeah. Crunchy or smooth, or does it not matter?
No, it will be a bit crunchy.
Yep.
Yes, some garlic as well, the same.
Yep.
The same spice we put it before in the chicken. Whole purpose. Some chili. If there is a children, we don't put chili much.
Right.
And paprika.
And is that the sweet paprika or the smoked paprika?
Smoked one.
Smoked one. And is that the onion salt?
Onion salt.
Yep.
And the garlic salt.
Garlic.
Now we mix it together.
Wow.
Yeah. This is very popular in my community, very popular. We love it.
Yep. You are trying to get a particular consistency, so we've added some more breadcrumbs to that because it was a little bit too wet. It needs to be drier.
Exactly. It should be a bit dry. It is not should be a bit wet, yeah.
Yep.
So now I can put the chicken.
Chicken?
Yeah. So what I will do, just I put the chicken.
You just get a nice coating on the outside.
Yeah, we'll cover it in both sides. And then I would skewer, like zigzag.
Okay. So back and forth on the skewer.
Back and forth, yeah.
Right, pop those over here.
And
so this now goes into the oven?
Yeah.
Yep. And then, but normally that would be cooked over charcoal.
Yeah.
If you're cooking at home.
Yeah, normally, yeah.
So what temperature should I set the oven at?
180.
180?
Yeah.
And how long do you reckon? just until it's nice and golden? Because that chicken's
nice
cut quite thinly, so that'll cook quickly.
Yeah, it depends on the oven. Sometimes 10 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes, so I can't.
So you're looking at sort of the colour and for it to be nice and crispy on the outside?
Yeah, it will be, yeah.
So onions go on.
Yeah. Some lemon.
Yep. Lemon juice on top of the onions.
Yeah.
Salt.
Some salt.
Get a teaspoon for you.
Yeah, thank you.
That lemon on those onions just helps soften it and take away that sort of really intense raw flavour.
Yeah, and chili.
And some chilli.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the way that colour looks on top of there. And that would be served beside, or would you put it on top?
No, serve beside.
Beside, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got about, you said, 10 to 15 minutes to wait for those to cook.
Yeah.
And we'll come back and have a look at the end result. Now, they did cook very quickly because they're cut so thin. They're done now?
Yeah.
No, they're going to be pretty hot though, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we might give it a little time to cool down.
Yeah.
But talk me through, so what happens with the onion?
So we cut the onion as a slice, and we always eat it together.
So the onion and the chicken goes together?
Yeah, goes together. Yeah,
Yep.
with some bread.
So would you, almost like a sandwich sort of thing?
Yeah, sandwich, and sometimes we just eat it by hand.
Yeah. We'll wait for them to cool down a little bit. I'm looking forward to trying them. If you want to have a go at this recipe, which I think you definitely should, jump on the website and have a look. We might get you in to do another Sudanese recipe at some stage, because this was quick. It's going to be tasty. It's food I've never eaten before, and I love trying things I've never tried before. And I think it's one that everyone back home in Australia will try, and they'll fall in love with Sudanese food.
Yeah, so this is very nice. We have a lot of recipe. Yeah.
G'day, Laura.
Hi, Henry.
How you going? It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Welcome to Sugar Ant Ridge.
Thanks for having me. It's an absolutely beautiful spot.
It's gorgeous, isn't it?
You wouldn't know it's here amongst the bush, but it's an absolute oasis.
It is.
Yeah. What are you doing on the property?
We are trying to become as self-sufficient as we can.
Beautiful.
So we've got our fruit trees to vegetables, edible flowers, and also food for the bees and the animals.
Amazing. Could you show me around?
I'd love to. Come through.
I'd love to have a look. This is amazing.
Thank you.
Like, this is the best veggie garden I've ever seen in my life. It's so cool. It's absolutely bursting.
It is.
What do you give these plants? I mean, worm compost.
Worms, yes. Not me, but the worms come in.
Oh my God.
The chickens, and that's about it. Bit of luck.
Worm compost and chickens.
Yes.
And you can get this.
Yes.
What are you growing?
We've got plenty of rhubarb.
Yep.
Corn, peas, carrots, raspberries, celeriac, edible flowers.
Edible flowers.
Of course, yeah. We sell those to local restaurants for
Cool.
pretty garnishes on your dessert.
Make them look fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So we have the pheasants, and they pick the bugs. They pick up all the fruit. They, of course, do the droppings, which fertilise the ground as well. And after they breed, we also use them on the table.
Beautiful,
Yes.
beautiful. So it's kind of like a little system in itself.
It is,
Yeah.
most certainly. So you've got fruit trees, and then we've got the berries and different shrubs. So eventually it will become our little food forest.
Wow. So you've got I can see already you've got a massive variety of plants here. Are they all food producing?
They are.
Yeah.
Yes. So we've got either the lemons or apples. We have grapes here behind us as well. And also, of course, you need your flowers for the bees.
Okay. Are you
to look
producing
after
your own honey?
everybody. We are.
Oh my
We
God,
collected
that's
our
awesome.
first a few months ago.
Oh, so cool,
Yes.
so cool. So you're looking at the system as a whole. That's pretty much permaculture, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the aim is, do you have any inputs? Are you doing this all organically?
Yes, always all organically.
Yeah, okay.
So you've got to look after your soil, and then the soil will look after everything else.
Okay.
So as you do the permaculture, it is like a little forest you're
Yep.
creating, because you don't go out and weed the forest or
No,
sweep
no.
up or anything like that. So that's what we're trying to mimic here.
So you're trying to let nature just do its thing
Yes.
and not interfere
Little
too
intervention.
much.
Yes, that's
'Cause
right.
I find this absolutely fascinating. I've got a farming background, and the way we've been taught is basically using monocultures, and there's been very little done on a commercial scale
Yes.
around permaculture and having lots of different varieties of plants and trees and working together as a system.
Yes.
And it really excites me how you can actually, it's sort of a total flip on conventional agriculture and sort of letting nature do its thing and
Yep.
provide, and without interfering too much,
No.
in a sense.
Well, they've already created it.
Yeah.
It's been going on for thousands of years before we came, so why try and change it?
Yeah, good
So-
stuff. Awesome. Could we keep having a look?
Of course,
Yeah.
come through.
This is obviously really abundant, and I imagine in the growing season you'd have a huge surplus of food.
We do, yes.
Can you also preserve some of your vegetables as
You
well?
can,
Yeah.
yes.
And you do this?
We have done this, yes.
Work in progress?
It is still a work in progress, but I do have some carrots we could show you if you like.
That'd be awesome. I'm looking to do some of this myself out of my veggie garden. So
Yes.
it'd be a great way to, because I end up giving all my vegetables away because it all happens at once.
Yes, it does.
And it's a bit
that's the
sad.
trouble. It
And in
is.
3
Or it
months'
starts
time.
wilting in the bottom of the fridge.
Yeah,
so,
and then you're off to the supermarket again.
yes.
It's a bit
So
of a shame.
to stop doing that, we jar them up ready for later on.
Cool, let's have a look.
I'm in.
Thank you very much.
So these are some of our preserves.
Preserves.
And pickles.
Very nice, very
Yes.
nice. So run me through the process with preserving vegetables. I'm very new to this. I know you can pickle, you can
Yep.
ferment.
Yes.
I don't know exactly what the differences are. So
Well, it depends on the fruit as well, or
Okay.
what you're doing. Tomatoes, you can do them either whole
Yep.
or crushed. You can do a salt brine with your lemons,
Mm-hmm.
or you've also got a sugar syrup for your fruit, or
Okay.
just plain water.
And you've got some of your products here as
We
well.
do,
I'm
yes.
very intrigued with fire cider tonic.
Yes.
Made here?
It is made all here. Everything comes from the farm,
Yep.
and we just buy in the apple cider vinegar, and it's just like an infusion.
Okay.
With all of the good vegetables and herbs to help you stay well. in the
Amazing. So
wintertime.
it's a health related
A health-related elixir, yes.
elixir. I like it. Very nice. And you
Yes.
also do some granolas.
Granolas and condiments. So, yes, dukkahs and zatars.
And these are all just available locally on the East Coast.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
All on the East
Amazing.
Coast.
So
So,
good.
in St Helens and Scamander and St Mary's.
I'll need to spend a bit more time
You
on the
will.
coast.
You
I think
will.
eat some really, really good organic produce.
It's a beautiful spot.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for showing
You're
me
most
around, Laura.
welcome.
It was a
Thank you for
fantastic
coming.
time, and I'm so excited to get back to my garden, get back to my worms, and
Wonderful.
start making some compost and even trying a bit of this pickling would be fantastic as well. So
Wonderful.
thank you very much for your time.
You're most welcome. Thank
Cool.
you very much.
Salmon is a great fish to use to make fish cakes because it's nice and fatty and it stays moist. So I'm going to show you how to make a really classic French style fish cake, which you can have at home on its own or in a burger bun. It's absolutely delicious. First thing we have to do is boil our potatoes. So I've peeled 4 potatoes, just chopped them into sort of bite-sized pieces, put them into some cold water, brought it up to the boil. I'm going to boil it for about 10 to 15 minutes till the potatoes are tender. Then we'll strain that water off, give the potatoes a light mash and allow them time to cool. While I allow my potato to cool, and when you're mashing it, try and work pretty quickly. You don't want to overwork your potato. The starch will come out and it will go really claggy and sticky. You don't want that. So a couple of quick mashes and then leave it to cool. Don't overwork it. So while that's cooling down, I'll start preparing a mayonnaise that I'm going to serve with it. So I've got just some whole egg mayo. Put it into a bowl. Then to go with that, capers, about 2 tablespoons worth. Keep a little bit for my actual patty mix, and the same with some gherkins. 3 gherkins. I just want to chop these about the same size as our capers are. So in half and then in half again, so they're in quarters. And that'll keep our flavoured mayo nice and chunky, which is what I want. It's almost like making a tartare sauce. Once I've finished making this flavoured mayonnaise, I can start to prepare my fish. So I've got salmon, which I said before. Salmon's fantastic for making fish cakes because it's got that good quality fat in it, which means that the fish cake itself will stay nice and moist. We're going to put a little bit of breadcrumbs in our patty mixture because it will drop some moisture as it cooks, and those breadcrumbs will help soak that moisture up. All right, gherkins go in. Stir that. And there's my chunky mayonnaise. All right, so get my fish ready. Salmon. I want to take the skin off these pieces of salmon and then dice it about 1 centimetre by 1 centimetre. So skin off first. I think it's always better to get skin on portions because then you can decide whether or not you want to keep the skin or whether you want to take it off, depending on what recipe you're making. So to take the skin off, just run your knife underneath the skin. Once you get going, you'll be able to grab hold of the skin where it started to separate from the flesh. If you keep hold of that piece of skin and then just work your knife down, almost using your finger as an anchor to hold that skin in place. And you'll come through really easy. So there's our fish with our skin off, and dice this into about, cut it into 1 centimetre strips and then dice. So our fish is ready to go in with our potato mixture. And I've had about the same weight of fish to potato mixture. Then I'm going to use a little bit of the breadcrumb and the egg to help bind those 2 ingredients together. I'll add some horseradish, parsley, a few more capers and gherkin like I did with that chunky mayonnaise, some lemon zest, and then some salt, and mix all those things together. Now we've got all our ingredients combined, it's time to cook our salmon cakes. The One thing I will say is when you add your breadcrumbs, always go a little bit under rather than over. You don't want this to end up dry once you've cooked it, and the breadcrumbs really are just there so that when that moisture does get dropped by the fish as it cooks, there is something there to soak that up. And also just helps with the consistency of the batter now. So just wet your hands slightly. Actually, a little bit of butter in our fry pan first to get us started. Wet your hands slightly. And then get a big spoonful of your mixture. And then with wet hands, so they don't stick, just work it into a patty size. And you can see how it's nice and chunky. There's big bits of salmon in there, which is what you want. You can see all those other ingredients in there as well. Wet your hand again. Go through the same process. Once your butter's started to foam, start to cook your patties. And don't overcrowd your pan. You want to leave enough room in there that you can turn them and you can do it quite freely. So probably in a fry pan this size, you only want 2 patties at a time.